Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Slayer The Legend of Heroes. In the last part, we went through parts of the second continent, losing Giles and getting him back in the process, and losing Marcus, and we're never getting him back. And now, while we're supposed to head west towards Rockburg, we actually want to head north of Grimwolf to reach Woodhome here. This is Daniel's home. Hi friends, you sure found this place quick. We were just talking about your deeds. My father, Eric, my mother, Tasha. Welcome to our home.
You know this fool?
Now you act like a fool, Pop.
You speak to me like that? Your own father? Such disrespect. In my day, we were polite to elders.
You are an old fool. Aren't you happy to see Danny again? You know your father, Danny, always hiding his true feelings.
Oh, such lies. I'm not happy to see this layabout.
Is that so? They explain why you have the cure magic. Danny, he went all the way to Port Norse to get it for you.
You didn't understand.
Father, have you really done this for me? After all my traveling far from home? I'm ashamed.
Dan, I feel... I'm very happy you're back, son.
I'm happy to be back. We can stay together now. What's the magic you have, Pop?
It's a cure of power 3. Strong stuff.
Golly, can this magic be copied by my friends? Logan here's on a quest to avenge his father. If we can help him.
Of course. The spell's yours.
And now we get a free Cure 3 spell. Not that spells cost money in this game, period, but you know what I mean. I do recommend if you have people who are lower on MP, like Giles, for instance, maybe keeping Cure 2 on them instead of upgrading to Cure 3. If only because it's nice to have someone who can heal lower amounts for less MP in a lot of instances. Like, I think towards endgame what I tend to do is, like, have the max Cure level spell and, like, 1 Cure 4 around, for instance. It's good to have some varied stuff for healing in particular. When it comes to magical damage, you should just go all out, though. And here we got another new enemy, Hunters. I forget if they can do anything special. If anything, it could probably inflict some status ailment, but as you can see, because of the grinding I did in between parts to prepare myself for stuff upcoming, not a lot to worry about. It's when you're over that last bridge that you need to worry, because the enemies around here are the strongest in the region, including Grim Talons and Bandit Wings. Bandit Wings inherently don't drop any gold unless they steal gold from you, whereas Grim Talons can cast some nasty ice magic on you. Not that that HP means a lot at this point, because around 100 isn't too much anymore with my current stats. But be wary of them all the same. What you really want to be careful of are enemies that don't show off in this LP by the name of Shell Shockers in that region. They look like turtles. They have basically max defense, and even then, magic doesn't do a lot of damage to them. If you ever want to run into them, I just recommend running, honestly. With that said, welcome to Cave Chris. We're here to grab some items like they mentioned over in Grimwolf last part, and the only enemy you'll encounter in the entirety of this cave is Beholders. They don't have a set pattern, but they can inflict mute on you, they can inflict sleep on you, they can sap away your MP into their own stock, and they can hit you with outright attack spells like fire too. Be a little careful of them, if only for the status ailments more so than the actual damage. And if need be, if you're in a wider area of this cave, just try to ignore them altogether. I do fight as many as I can along the way from memory just to get extra experience points, because I'm all about getting towards that juicy endgame number for myself. But that's just how I play RPGs versus how other people do. Some of the armor here isn't absurdly useful. For instance, we already got some lion armor back in Grimwolf. The main reason you're coming here is for the stuff after this door. A locked door? Leave it to me. I can pick any lock. Because Giles allows us to get past that door into where the really good stuff is. Like this Seeker Orb. Now, we've used Seeker Eyes throughout the LP so far to see what maps look like in dungeons or on the overworld. A Seeker Orb is an infinite Seeker Eye, so you no longer need to keep any Seeker Eyes you get around or have around. You can just sell them. You can get a couple of these throughout the game, so you don't necessarily need to get one here. Some enemies drop them down the line as well, but that's just always going to stick in our inventory from here on. So, yeah, good stuff. Especially because you really want to check the dungeon layout in every floor you reach in a dungeon. Because while they're not exactly large or complicated dungeon layouts usually, it's good to have an idea where you're going. Especially given how samey all the dungeons look in this game. And here we get some iron armor. That's the next equipment set in order defensively. I'm putting this on Giles, and I do try to give stuff to Giles first because, especially with weapons, he can take advantage of it better with his higher speed. But you do want to try, in the case you get, like, a set spread out across an entire dungeon, to probably spread it across your party. Like, I'm giving Ethan here the iron plate we just got, which is the next shield. Where you really can change your style when it comes to equipment is with accessories, which is the 4th slot in the equipment screen we haven't gotten anything for yet, which changes here because you get your first accessory in this dungeon. In fact, it's the ultimate reward, I find, because in here we get the Viper Ring. So let's put that on Giles. 236 attack, 336. That is a plus 100 with his speed. That is ridiculous. If you are playing the game and not upgrading stats manually, it is a little better probably to put that on someone else, but with manual setup, I just prefer putting that on Giles. Here we get some War Wasps. These are interesting enemies in that they can inflict the Venom status on you, but because they are bees, they die if they do that. Sometimes I think they do it as a death counterattack, but not a lot to worry about. Here's good old Rockburg. Let's see if we can find the mayor's brother Matthew around here. Have you heard? Rowan, the king of Rockburg, is wounded. Oh, well, we should probably check into that in a few moments then. Anyone else want to comment on that? There was terrible fighting. Many men were shattered. Shattered? It's kind of a weird way to phrase that, but I guess you do you. Alright, we're looking for a Matthew around here. Anyone even look like the guy? Brother Ringo. Why are you in my mystical mystery tour? You seeing the theme? The Beatles joke they're doing here?
What's this? How are you in my home? Have you business here?
Just a question, eh? Do you know a bloke called Matthew?
Matthew, you say? Well, that's my name.
It's your brother. You sent us to see if you're safe.
What's that? My brother? Yeah, that's right, my brother. Well, you just run along and tell him I'm safe. Don't worry about me.
Weird reaction, but okay. Let's go see if we can visit the king while we're here, since I mentioned he was injured.
Hey, matey, we heard that Rockburg was besieged by beasts.
Say what? Don't you know? Our soldiers broke out of the dungeon and scattered those fiends. But see you around. I'm gonna go eat some rocks. Again, you do you. The castle's rocking up for war. You can't go in, but I thought the war was already over then. Something ain't feeling right here. And to figure it out, we need to go back to Grimwolf. You used to backtracking yet? Because if you're not, you should be. Get used to it real quick.
Welcome back, my friends. How was the trip to Rockburg?
Hi, Mayor Walter. We saw Matthew. There were tons of people in Rockburg who were just walking around. No sign of monsters.
What's that you say? Does this mean Windgod's saved?
I can't say, mate. Why didn't see King Rowan around there? Your brother's an odd chap, though. We told him you'd send us, and he seemed surprised, almost like he didn't know what to do.
You know, Matthew cut his right hand as a toddler. His hand has very deep scars. Did you see them?
I didn't notice his hands. Maybe we ought to go back.
You all look tired out. Before anything, you must rest.
I mean, hey, I'll always take the free in uses. Honestly, it does, by the end of this game, become rarer that you actually pay for an inn. And I like it when games do that in a way. Like, I know, I really like how the Voice of Cards game do it, where they always make a joke for why the inn is free.
You again? What do you want this time? I'm very busy.
Sorry to bother you, I just want to look at your right hand.
My hand? What's wrong with my hand?
You have no scars. Your brother said to check for your scars. You can't be Matthew. So who are you?
So smarty, you discovered my trick. You're finished now.
This is a granite. Decent HP and defense, but they don't really hit hard enough to really warrant any kind of threat. And what really helps that is that each one you fight has a very good chance of dropping an herb, so just a relatively low free healing item, but a lot of free healing items all the same. Also, you notice how I said a lot? You're going to be fighting a lot of them, because now that they've been revealed, every single NPC in town is a granite. And, well, I guess that means we can probably just head straight to the castle, which, hey, I'll take it. Pretty good for EXP overall, too, it looks like we're getting about 30 per. Also, while I love this soundtrack, this is easily my least favorite song in the game, and why can't I go through that door? That's odd. I guess let's head downstairs instead of upstairs. Yeah, this song's just weirdly grating, and I don't like it. It's like the only song in the game I don't like either. Who's there? Answer in the name of Rowan, King of Windguard. I am Prince Logan, son of Corwin from Farlane Kingdom.
Logan, the son of my sister Sylvia? It's incredible.
That makes you my uncle. Half a sec, I'll open the door.
Don't waste your strength, nephew. These doors were magically sealed by a beast fiend called Strom. It's lurking in my throne room on the second floor. Made a mess of the place. Beware, Strom has a magic force to help him. It controls the door to the stairs. I've never seen anything like it. Senses differences between people. Lets the rock beasts go by, yet my soldiers were barred completely, even after I passed through with my retainers. That's how Strom got the jump on us. That and his fire stick. He calls himself Untamed. I'd say uncultured. We need help, so seek out Arthur, my wise friend. He can solve science mysteries. He lives by the sea to the northwest.
Alright, I guess we're just gonna leave then. Now, something I've never tried is to just do the solution to the puzzle there and then instead of going downstairs. So I'm not sure if it's, things progress differently here, but we want to head all the way up here with the very narrow areas that cause very high encounter rates. New enemy here, and it's already dead, is an Ursus. I think it has decently high physical attack, but as you can see, at my levels, not a threat. The only real enemy that is a threat around here is the Shell Shockers, like I've mentioned. Alright, Arthur's Sea Lodge, here we are.
Jiminy, living on the edge, ain't ya? This area's risky.
It's true, Mr. Arthur, but we're here to help the king. The castle's overrun. Rowan's in the dungeons.
Jiminy, the country's lost to the beasts. There's gotta be a huge army if Rockburg is fallen.
The city's in the hands of Granites, led by one called Strom. We want to get him, but he used an invisible force to block the stairs. Only the Granites can pass freely. Well, actually, Rowan said he did too, but his soldiers couldn't get by. Or us. I'm confused.
Invisible forces? Granite armies? Jiminy! This Strom thing has cast a spell on the door. It bars you and the soldiers, eh? But not the rock beasts. A pretty pickle. Both you and the soldiers wear arms, but King Rowan doesn't. I've heard a tale of a stone of force. Works kind of like a reversed magnet. Repels iron and metal, so you can't bring it near armor or weapons. Maybe this brute Stromy has set that doorway with such a stone. I wonder.
What can we do to get in?
You must take off your armor to pass through the doorway. The king's fate's in your hands. Go quickly.
Alright, sure. So we got a little bit of a Final Fantasy IV magnetic cavern situation here, where in order to actually reach the throne room to Rockburg, we need to take off all our stuff.
You're finally back. Did you check my brother's hand?
Yes, we checked, but it wasn't Matthew. Rockburg was full of granites that looked like the people.
Yikes! My brother! King Rowan, what's happening?
The answers can only be in Rockburg Castle.
You all look tired out. Before anything, you must rest.
I only came back here because you can just see that dialogue. It's honestly very easy to miss because I think he gets different lines after the scenario's done. So I figured might as well show that off. So now let's head back into Rockburg Castle rather. So they say that you need to take off your arms here, but in specific, you need to take off your weapons, armors, and shields. If a character like Giles has a ring on though, that can stay on. And even then, it's not like they need to be off for long. The moment you're upstairs, you can re-equip all your stuff. You're going to want to with the granites coming in towards you. Though, in the case you forget to or are slow to, you can equip stuff in battle. Through the equip option that I believe is on the screen. You can actually do a lot of things in battle. For instance, this game has a pretty in-depth auto battle system where you can set it up to auto heal and do attack spells and all that if you wanted to. I recommend using that for grinding just to help speed things up a little bit. Just make sure you stop by inns regularly.
Who dares invade the halls of my castle? Have you taken leave of your senses? Are you aware that you're now face to face with Strom the Untamed, the conqueror of Wingard? If so, may the Seeker help you. Because believe me, you will need all the help you can get.
Alright, time for Strom. This is the fight where you're really gonna see what the long-term strategy for the game is. Inflict as many buffs and debuffs as you can on your party and the boss in a row, particularly slow, leech, or haste. Power is good as well, but I wouldn't recommend using the guard spell, it's not worth it in the long run anyway. And then you're gonna want to use Calm, and then just beat into their HP physically until they're dead. Sure, this means you're kind of limited on healing, but especially down the line where we're gonna have different healing items that heal for more, it's not a big deal. And plus, you got all those herbs from the granites anyway. The reason you want to use Leech on Strom is he naturally does have some pretty high defense. The reason you want to use Calm in this case, though, isn't because of attack magic, it's because once he's around half HP, he starts using Cure 3 on himself. And for beating him, we get a Fire Staff, which casts Fire 3 occasionally when used as a weapon in battle. But that is also the only attack it has, it's not guaranteed to even work. Which is why most of the staffs just aren't worth it, in my experience. Also, because I haven't noted it in a bit, even though I believe I've been trying to show my levels off when I can. What I focus on stat-wise once I'm around 20-ish intellect, 15 to 20, and over 50 strength, is trying to do a split of strength, speed, and luck. The only occasion where that's not exactly true is Giles, because he's lower on strength because he joined later to begin with. And I try to get him more speed than strength in a lot of cases, or at least focus more on it, as I want him to still be able to outspeed everything with his boosted attack.
How disappointing. I'm afraid Strom fell far too short of my expectations.
Well, that's too bad, Drax. Now defend yourself, or are you going to run again like some whipped cur?
Run? Could it be your mistaking tactical retreat for running? I would be a fool to risk my life when I'm so close to achieving my goal. No, Logan. I'll face you once again in a place of my own choosing, under my own conditions. Until then, fare thee well.
The monster invasion of Windguard is over. Good. Because I really don't want to fight any more Shield Shockers. Chapter 2, The Chase, draws to a close, and thus begins Chapter 3, Lost King.
Prince Logan, Ethan, Giles, you've saved my kingdom. You are heroes here. Come to Rockburg anytime.
Thank you, Uncle Rowan, but we only did what was needed. I've sworn to avenge my father Corwin by pursuing his slayer, Drax. I heard that Drax was around here in cahoots with Strom, and now Castle Darkheim of Norland is under siege.
Castle Darkheim, you say?
Drax may have gone there to build an even bigger army from the beasts that are seizing port towns and blockading Norland. I'll provide you with a ship and escort to Norland. Forgive my directness, Ethan, but I feel I've met you somewhere.
No, Your Honor. We've never met before.
That's strange. Oh well. Prince Logan, good luck in your pursuit of vengeance. Thanks, Uncle. More importantly, let's talk to your helper here. We all owe you a great deal, Prince. In Norland, you'll meet King Magnus, not the most reputable of men. The story goes that he turned tail when faced by strong enemies. Oh, great. By and large, every castle, once you've cleared a chapter, does become a lot of dialogue, kind of telling you what the state of things is and where you should go next. For instance, here's a tale about Norland. Some years ago, a fisher came with rare red gill fish to sell. He told of a sorceress who has the power to enter dragon pods and return alive. Dragon eggs are dangerous. My old granny warned me years ago, never touch them because the dragon power will nail you. The Seeker protects us with dragon power, but old legends tell of the hatchling of a blue dragon that will breathe fire and fry up all of East Renassa. Yikes. I'm sure they'll never come into play. What a dragon pod is at this point, we don't know. And like many things, they don't really go into it here. Maybe they go more into it in the Japanese scripts. Either way, they definitely probably more went into it in the sequel. Sir Logan, what a pleasure. I hear you're off to Norland now. Look for red gills on the way. That's my favorite fish. It's delicious. I can't get it here as they only swim in the rocky seas around Port Nors. Lots of pirates in those waters are scaring the fisher folk off. Hope we don't run into any of those. I'm sure we can handle it though. But before we leave Rockburg Castle, we want to talk to their sage here because we got more good magic. Namely, you can get the Revive spell, which is a very cheap way to revive a character in battle at 1 HP. Only really necessary in boss fights, I find, because if a character dies in a random battle, you can just run away and restock their health that way. Venom can be good because that instant kills faster than Venom 1 at least. If I'm going to recommend any of the other spells he has, though, it's the Coma spell. Like with the one Drax used on us, that is an instant kill spell. Not every enemy's vulnerable to it, though, and it's got low hit percentages at level 1. I could also recommend Mute, but there's only a couple of fights I would really recommend that against, period, as that's just a single target Calm spell, and anything I could hit with Mute, I can hit with Calm, and overall be better in the long run. Now, what's interesting about Rockburg is that we can actually get some new items here. You can buy salts here for one, so if you need more in-battle revival items, there you go, but you can also get a Warp Wing. A Warp Wing is like the Warp Quills we've been able to find for a while now, only it works as an instant teleport spell to any place you've been, not just the last one. Try to get a couple of those if you can, because we're not going to be able to get an upgraded warp spell for a little bit. You can also now buy the entire iron equipment line. I could recommend doing that if you're lower on stock than I am, but we're going to be leaving ourselves for the next equipment anyway. Oh boy, the Beetle Brothers, dedicated to the Seeker. There's the hat on the joke. Haha. I swear it's funny. But now let's head to Grimwolf and talk to Walter again.
I've been waiting for you. I got a bunch of questions. What's up with my brother? Why'd all the monsters just disappear?
Matthew is safe and sound. Rockburg was infiltrated by shape-changers that looked like the townspeople. And that's what confused us. We've eliminated the ringleader Strom. Once he was out of it, the rest fled. That cleared the town and we freed everyone.
Man, you guys play fast and loose. Things were going haywire there for a while.
So tell us about Marcus.
Marcus? He left some time back, said he had some business. I asked him to wait for you, but since he was all healed... Anyway, he left a gift for you. Look.
It's the great flame magic he was so proud of. He shared it. Hey, Prince, let's copy this right away.
Huh? What Prince?
This is Prince Logan of Firelane, son of Corwin.
But then, that makes you Sylvia's son. Part of the royalty. I had you doing me favors. I'm sorry, Sir Logan.
Don't be silly, Walter. I don't care about that.
Let me give you the spell then. The least I can do.
Here's the Flame 3 magic, and here you can learn Flame 3 forever, and not for nothing, it's a very powerful spell. There are some enemies immune to fire magic in the game, but even then, we're very shortly gonna have ways to deal higher level shock and ice damage as well. So it's worth just grabbing this for at least 2 party members, I'd say, maybe only 1. I tend to make Ethan in particular, not Ethan, Logan, sort of a mixed spellcaster, physical attacker for random battles, so it could be worth putting on him. So now we need to head back to Rockburg Castle, because this is where the ship to the next region is, right over here. I love the ship theme. It's so weirdly relaxing. It is kind of like elevator music in a way, which I guess is the most literal way we can have an elevator in this particular instance, huh? Though, having seen the full world map, sometimes the ships choose some very aggravating routes to get from place to place. There's one very egregious version of this towards the end of the game that I'll comment on in specific. First off, we gotta stop by Fort Mir, I guess, to restock. And oh, hi there!
Well, it took you long enough to get here.
Sonia, what in the Seeker's name are you doing here?
I had nothing better to do, so I thought I'd drop in and help you track down Drax. The fact of the matter is, King Rowan sent word to your mother, Queen Sylvia. He said that you were a bit short-handed and could probably use an extra sword. Naturally, when I heard of this, I knew you'd need the best, so I volunteered. By the way, what happened to Marcus?
Yeah, it's a long story. I'd rather not go into it right now.
Okay, you're the boss. Actually, you're lucky I came because I know a few spells myself, although I must admit I'm not in Marcus's class. Now, where do we go from here?
Wait a minute, just wait a minute. Who said you were coming in the first place?
My dear Prince, who is going to stop me?
All right, you may join us.
I I thought you'd see it my way.
And now Sonya joins our party, and she's pretty good. She is a replacement Marcus. Let's get on the boat for Norland. She has a lot of good magic, and we'll take a look at her stats in a few moments. Oh, great. I guess they did warn us about the pirates, didn't they?
Drop your weapons and follow us.
Do you surrender? No. Oh no, this is an immediate but thou must. Okay, sure, I guess I'll go. Good old RPGs. I swear we like them sometimes. Won't lie though, pirate theme, probably my favorite song in the game, or at least like top 3. It's just got a good like Genesis funk to it. I like it a lot.
We've got ourselves a couple of live ones, Captain Morgan. They might be good for mending their sails.
Good job, Mr. Sneed. Put him in the brig while I finish this hand.
Aye, Captain.
Oh, what have we here? A pretty little lassie, eh? Sneed, take these gentlemen out to the docks and show them how we like our decks swabbed. In the meantime, I'll see what me and this lovely lady has in common. Whoa, wait a second. Giles, why, you thieving little cutpurse. What are you doing here? I didn't exactly come here by choice, you old sea dog. Now that you recognize me, I hope you'll treat me and my friends a little better than you have so far. Why not? Mr. Sneed, break out the silverware. We're going to have ourselves a little party tonight.
Aye, Captain. Consider it done.
Gentlemen, and gentle lady, if you'll follow me this way.
Well, thank God Giles apparently has connections.
So you're chasing a murderer, eh? Better give Port Nors a miss. Shiver me timbers, beast swarm thick there. Since you want to get into Norland, my advice is to ship for Red Pier. I've got a hideout there and a boat to take you. But too much business talk. Here, try some of this delicious fish. It's called redgill, and you can only find it around these islands. Shiver me timbers, these are strange fish. I'm always finding spoons and coins in them.
Definitely odd. Our medicine supply's done. Full hospital in Darkheim Town was open again. Don't often see pirates go directly to a hospital. Usually they have one of their own kind of setups. I'll let you in on a secret about the skipper. It's his heart. He has to take medicine for it, but since Darkheim was overrun by beasts, no one can go to the hospital, so we ran out. Ooh, maybe that's why. Specialties. Gotcha. So there are some interesting things you can do around the pirate hideout. For instance, there is a free inn over here with this particular pirate, which is always good to have one of those around, not that we haven't had plenty of them so far. You got this guy up here. This is where we keep explosives, but don't be afraid. We're all out because we can't get the materials we need to make bombs. Good? Question mark? The really interesting thing is up here. Dang, we had no breaks today. Look, I'm winning again. Because they're playing a minigame. Jumpy Pirate. It's sort of that one board game that's out there where you put the swords into a barrel and the monkey can jump out. And you can get decent rewards from this, but the thing is, you have to win concurrently to get higher rewards. If you retire early or lose, you either get the lower reward, or you don't get any. The way it works, you take a turn stabbing one of 6 knives into the barrel, and then the AI does it. Whoever makes the pirate jump out, loses. As for the rewards you get, your first one can get you a detoxin, your second one will get you a torch, third will get you a telelens, the fourth will get you an herb, the fifth will get you a warp quill, and the sixth and final one will either get you a potion, the highest restorative item in the game when it comes to just pure healing items, or a mage fruit at random. Not worth the effort and luck that goes into it, but at least there's a couple of mini games in this game. I actually kind of appreciate how many it has for a game that came out when it did. Morgan's got a keen gem collection. All the best gems in Isranasa are here. Cool. So now we're good to just leave. The slightly unfortunate thing, while there are 3 ships out in the harbor area of this little town, Only the one on the left that we entered from can actually take us anywhere, and can only take us to Red Pier. The other two ships never do anything, so it's not like this is like a central shipping hub that allows you to get to other areas without using later warp spells. But I guess at the end of the day, we're going to be getting better warp magic, and warp wings were just made available, so it's not like it's a big deal. Just kind of a missed flavor opportunity, I guess, to make the area feel more interesting. Welcome to Red Pier. This town is very small.
Arr, Simon, how you been keeping? These folks are mates of Captain Morgan's. Take care of them. This is the Red Pier hideout. Y'all can use it as a base. Simon here will look out for you. Arr, I'm off.
And we can use this as a free inn whenever we may need be, which is almost always in this game, because inns are always free. So let's talk about Sonia's stats. For one thing, she has the Steel Rod equipped, which isn't a normal physical attack weapon. That's like the spellcasting ones. It has a chance of hitting an enemy with Coma 3 whenever you use it, meaning she can almost always instant kill a character as long as it hits that 33% proc. Her stats, she's got a lot of intelligence, so her MP is going to skyrocket throughout the game. And because of that, you're going to want to put more of her stats into her strength and speed to get her more turns and get her more HP as you go through. But especially once you get her strength stat towards like 50 or 60, you're going to want to start putting more stats into her just to help her use late game spells more efficiently as well. Thankfully, by this point in the game onwards, you can just start buying mage fruits at a lot of stores, so MP isn't as big of a threat to lose. Also, I should note, I've been saying intellect influences spell damage, and it does slightly, but the main thing that determines a spell's damage is the level of the spell itself and the element. For instance, some enemies take less damage or will just ignore fire damage, period, but a Fire 5 spell will always do between a certain amount of damage kind of deal. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 5, we're going to start exploring the Kingdom of Norland now that we've made it here. See you guys then.